Imagine a robot that doesn't run on code. It runs on living human brain cells. Not a metaphor, not a chip inspired by the brain. Real neurons, grown in a lab, kept alive, wired to a machine, and taught to do a job. This is happening right now. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these things can do, what they absolutely cannot do, and the one thing almost every viral post about this gets completely wrong. Stay with me, because the truth is stranger than the clickbait. Quick context, so nothing here goes over your head. For decades, artificial intelligence meant silicon, chips, transistors, math. Machines imitate what a brain does. Then researchers flipped the question. Instead of building something that acts like a brain, what if you just used a real one? No, not a whole brain. A tiny cluster of living brain cells grown from stem cells small enough to sit on the tip of your finger. Connect that to a chip, connect the chip to a robot body, and you get something we don't really have a word for yet. Part biology, part machine. Here's the question I want you to hold onto the entire video. If a machine's decisions come from living human cells, is it still just a machine? Hold that thought. We're coming back to it. Let's start with what's real. Research teams have grown clusters of human brain cells and connected them to electronics. Signals go in, the cells respond, signals come out, and the machine moves. Here's the part that genuinely surprises people. The cells learn. Give them feedback, and they adjust. They've been taught to steer a robot around obstacles, to grab and move objects, to recognize simple patterns. Nobody programmed those behaviors line by line. The living cells figured them out. Now, the thing everyone gets wrong. Those dramatic images you've seen. A glowing pink brain floating inside a robot's skull? Those are concept artworks, mock-ups, illustrations of what someone imagines this might look like one day. The real thing is microscopic. A speck of tissue on a chip in a sealed box, hooked up to tubes and wires. Far less cinematic, far more interesting. I'm telling you that in the first 2 minutes because I'd rather earn your trust than sell you a lie. But that raises an obvious question. Why would anyone do this? The answer is the part that changed how I think about the future of computers entirely. Question for you. Before this video, did you think AI with a human brain was pure science fiction? Or did you already know labs were doing it? Comment fiction or knew it. I want to see how far ahead of the news you are. We already have powerful computers. So why grow brain cells? 2 reasons. Both are fascinating. Reason 1, power. Your brain runs on about the energy of a dim light bulb. It writes, remembers, imagines, recognizes faces, and dreams all on a snack. Meanwhile, the data centers behind modern AI consume enough electricity to run entire cities. That gap is enormous, and researchers started asking a dangerous question. What if the most efficient computer of the future isn't built from metal at all? Reason 2, learning. Neurons rewire themselves. That's their whole design. Experience changes their physical structure automatically, constantly, without anyone writing an update. Silicon still can't do that, naturally. We simulate it extensively. Living cells just do it. So this isn't a stunt. It's a serious attempt to answer a real question. For certain jobs, is biology simply the better computer? But before you start picturing a robot with feelings, memories, and dreams, pump the brakes, because there's a hard ceiling on these things, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. Here's what surprised me most. This isn't locked behind one secret lab. Living brain cell processors are being built, sold, and rented. Companies package neurons into sealed units with everything needed to keep them alive: temperature, nutrients, and waste removal, and ship them to researchers. Others let scientists connect to living neural chips remotely over the internet from anywhere on Earth. Universities are already using these as robot brains, so machines can learn on the fly instead of following a script. Sit with that for a second. Somewhere right now, a cluster of human neurons is sitting on a chip connected to the internet, learning a task for a scientist on the other side of the planet. If you could rent time on a living brain chip for a weekend project, would you? Or does that cross a line? Tell me where your line is. I read the comments. Let me machine gun the limits, because the hype badly needs it. Biologically, these are infants. The cells are immature, nowhere near the structure of an adult brain. No consciousness, full stop. There is zero evidence these clusters are aware, feel anything, or know they exist. They respond to signals. That's it. They're fragile. Constant temperature, constant feeding, sterile seals, cut the support, and they die permanently. A laptop doesn't do that. No two are identical. Each cluster grows a little differently. Compared to mass-produced chips, they're wildly inconsistent. The tasks are simple. Avoid an obstacle, balance an object, recognize a shape. Astonishing for living cells, nowhere close to replacing the chip in your phone. None of that means the science is fake. It means the science is real and early. Which is the most interesting stage to watch? Which brings us to the question nobody in any lab can fully answer, and honestly, it's the one that actually matters. Here's where this stops being about engineering and starts being about us. At what point does a cluster of human brain cells stop being a component and start being a someone? Right now, the answer is clear. It doesn't. No awareness, no experience, no inner life. But scientists are openly asking in serious ethics papers what happens as these get larger, more complex, and more capable. Where's the threshold? Who decides? And would we even notice if we crossed it? I don't have a clean answer. Nobody does. Any channel that pretends otherwise is guessing. But I think it's the right question to sit with now, while these things are still simple, instead of after they aren't. The big one, and I'll feature the best answers in the next video. Where should the line be? At what point would a lab-grown brain deserve protection, rights, or a say in being switched off? Give me your honest take. So no, there's no conscious robot walking around with a human mind. That part is clickbait. But what's underneath it might be more remarkable. Living human neurons, learning real tasks, driving real machines, and sold in real boxes today. We are genuinely early in something big, and you're seeing it before most people believe it's possible. Now, if this made the science actually make sense, hit subscribe. Next time, I'm breaking down whether these living computers could ever beat the AI already in your pocket. And drop your answer to that last question. Best comment gets featured.